Hello apples and cherries and welcome to lesson 5, your last lesson of English this week. So the focus of this whole week was to use our new knowledge of space to write a non-fiction book, and we had to make sure that when we were writing our sentences we used the key features of full stops, capital letters, finger spaces and most importantly our phonics knowledge. Okay, so by the end of the video today, we will be able to say a fact about the planets that we've looked at in this video. Some of you may also be able to write a sentence about one of the planets using your key features of sentence writing. And some of you then may even be able to add in the correct information to your contents page and add the matching page number. So this week we've been looking at lots of vocabulary, so I'm not going to test you this week because there's lots of information there, but let's just go through it all again. I'm going to do it in a different order just so that we make sure that we know what each of the word means. I'm going to start here. So a comet. A comet is an object in space that is made up of ice, dust and rocks. And then just to make sure that we know the difference, we've also got asteroids, and they are objects in space made up of metals and rocks. Let's go down to this one here. Gravity. Gravity is a force that pulls objects towards the centre of the earth. So that's what keeps us stuck to the ground and stops us from floating around. Let's go back up here. Space. Space is the environment outside of the earth that contains planets and stars. And remember, planets is an object in space that orbits around a star. And remember that orbit means the curved path that an object takes to travel around a star or a planet. And then the final one is our solar system. Our solar system is a collection of planets and their moons in orbit around the sun, together with asteroids and comets. Well done if you've kept up with all those new words this week. It's not a test, remember, it's just good for us to know what these words mean so when we're learning about space, we have an idea. So we've seen this picture quite a lot this week. This is our solar system with all of our planets in. So we've looked at the sun, and yesterday we looked at the first 4 planets. The first one was Mercury, well done. Then after Mercury it was Venus, and then after Venus it was Earth, and then the 4th planet away from the Sun is Mars. Brilliant. So today we're going to be looking at Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. And remember, although this picture shows all of the planets in one line, the planets are not still, they are constantly orbiting around the Sun. Okay? So today we're starting with the 5th planet away from the Sun, and this is Jupiter. Jupiter is huge, and it's a giant. And it is a giant planet that is made up completely of gas. So we can't see gas, but it's things that we would see the things that we would find in the air. So oxygen is a gas, the thing that we breathe. The thing that we breathe out is called carbon dioxide. That is a gas. Okay, so the gases that Jupiter is made up is something called hydrogen and helium. And helium is very light. Helium is what we sometimes put in our balloons to make them float. So Jupiter is made up of gas, and it is a gas giant because it is so big. Jupiter has many storms in it. So if you have a look on here, you can see all of the different patterns, and that's normally where storms are appearing on the planet. As I've said, Jupiter is really big, and it is actually the biggest planet in our solar system. Not only is it the biggest planet in our solar system, it also spins the fastest. So as it's going round on its orbit, it's constantly spinning, and it is the fastest spinning planet in our solar system. Not only is it the biggest planet in the solar system, it also has the biggest moons. So Jupiter is extremely greedy and it has 79 moons. We have 1 and Jupiter has 79. Okay, out of those 79, it has 1 moon that is the biggest in the whole solar system. So let's just recap our facts about Jupiter. It is absolutely massive and it is made up of gas. It has lots and lots of storms, and because it's one of the biggest planets in the solar system, it also spins the fastest. It has 79 moons, and one of those moons is the biggest moon in the solar system. At the next planet, and the next planet looks really, really cool, and this is the 6th planet away from the Sun, and it is called Saturn. Saturn is also very, very big and it can be described as a gas giant. So just like Jupiter, it's mainly made up of gas. So it's lots of hydrogen and helium, and there is a little bit of methane gas, and that's the smelly gas that we sometimes smell when we walk past a farm. Okay, so Saturn is also very big and it is a gas giant. You see these things going round, we call them rings, and these rings around Saturn are made up of ice. So it's lots and lots of ice in our solar system have come together to make rings around Saturn. Saturn is greedier than Jupiter. It has 82 moons. Its biggest moon has got a name and we call it Titan. So Titan is Saturn's biggest moon. Saturn is made up of quite a lot of helium, and that's what we put into our balloons to make them float. If we had a bathtub of water big enough and we put Saturn inside it, Saturn would float because it's so, so light. Now, I don't think we will ever find a bathtub big enough, but it's really interesting to know that Saturn would float in water because of how light it is. So let's just recap. Saturn is a gas giant. It's mainly made up of gas and it's very, very big. Its rings are made of ice, so these are made of ice. It has 82 moons and its biggest one is called Titan. And if we were able to, we put Saturn into water, it would float. So now we are on to the 7th planet away from the Sun, and this is called Uranus. So Uranus is an icy gas giant. So unlike Jupiter and Saturn, it's made up of gas, but it's also made up of ice. So it's very, very cold there, and there's lots of ice. Uranus is actually the coldest planet in our solar system. It's around minus 224 degrees. Wow. In the winter, sometimes we'd say that Jack Frost had arrived, and that would be like -1, -2. On Uranus, it is minus 224. That would be freezing. So it's the coldest planet in our solar system. Uranus also has rings, but these rings are made up of dust. So the dust in the solar system has come together to make a ring around Uranus. Uranus is also a very, very bright blue colour. And that's because it has a gas in it called methane. Now, I mentioned that in the last slide. So methane is the smelly gas that we might come across if we walk past a farm. So the animals, they release gas and it's called methane gas. And sometimes we release methane gas as well. And it's very, very smelly. What it does is it causes Uranus to absorb the light from the sun, and it takes all of the red light from the sun and takes it inside, and then it reflects out the blue light. So it's very complicated, but basically, because of the methane gas in this planet, it makes it look very bright blue. So just to recap, Uranus is an icy gas giant. It's the coldest planet in our solar system. It has rings made of dust, and it is blue in colour because of the gas methane. And we've made it to the last planet in our solar system. So Neptune is the 8th planet away, and it is the last planet in our solar system. Just like Uranus, it is an icy gas giant. So it's so cold out on Neptune that the gas that makes it up is also combined with some ice. It's not as cold as Uranus, but it is still very cold. It is the furthest planet from the Sun. So if we were to think about all the planets, this is the one that is the furthest away from the Sun. It is also the windiest planet on our solar system. So on Neptune, there would be a constant wind going around. Imagine those windy days that we have here. Imagine if it was windy like that every single day. God, it would be awful, wouldn't it? So Neptune is very, very windy. Because it is so windy, it has lots and lots of storms. Okay, so let's just recap about Neptune. It's an icy gas giant. It's the furthest planet from the Sun. It is the windiest planet in our solar system, and it has many, many storms.
So we're on the last day of our non-fiction book writing. So we need to do the last page of our book. So we've looked at 4 more planets today. So we need to choose one of those planets to write about. And I think I'm going to write about the planet Jupiter because I really, really liked how big it is and how much of a fascinating planet it is. So I need to write the heading of my page, which is going to be Jupiter. So, Jupiter. So I wonder what my fact about Jupiter is going to be. I think I'm going to put in that it is the biggest planet and spins the fastest in our solar system. So I'm going to write down here, Jupiter is the biggest planet and it spins the fastest in our solar system. So Jupiter is the biggest planet. So let's write that down first. Jupiter, so I need a capital letter because it's the beginning of my sentence. Jupiter is the biggest planet. Planet. Now I'm going to make that one sentence. So at the end of my sentence I need to put a full stop. Don't forget, if you are stuck on how to spell some of these words, you can use the video and the facts to help you. So Jupiter is the biggest planet, and then I'm going to write the next sentence is that it spins the fastest in our solar system. So I've done a full stop there. I'm going to start a new sentence, so I need a capital letter for it, with a capital I. It spins the fastest in our solar system. That's the end of the sentence. What do we need? Well done, a full stop. So this page is all about Jupiter. So I then can draw a picture of Jupiter in my box, but I also need to remember to fill in my contents page. So I need to write Jupiter here because it's the heading of my page. Jupiter. And then I need to think what page number it would be on. So the Earth was on the page number 4, This is the next page, so it would have to be page number 5. Well done. So next to Jupiter, I need to write page number 5. Okay, brilliant. So we're at the end of our non-fiction book now. You can decide to do more pages. You could add in some more planets if you want to. You could add in the sun or the moon if you didn't do the other one on Tuesday. What you could also do is challenge yourself to do an index page. If you're not sure what an index page is, go back to Monday's video and that will explain there. Or you might decide to do your own back cover. So all you need is a blank page at the back and you can just write in what your book will be about. But well done for making your non-fiction book about space. I hope you've enjoyed learning the facts about space this week.